So again, good afternoon and welcome to our second session of our class for today. So we are going to have for today the potato production. So last time we discussed about okra production. So while waiting for the rest to come in, let me give you the introduction in advance. So white potato or the Solanum tuberosum is one of the most consumed na potato or I mean tuber crop in the world. In fact, it ranks fourth among the world's major food crops, and it's the staple food of almost half of the population in our world. So potato byproducts is also very important because of their high nutritive value and a lot variety of uses. So let's have a look. In 2006, in the Philippine setting, we have 69,000 tons from 5,000 hectares, having Benguet as top producer of 60% of the total production. So other major producers include the Davao del Sur, the Mount Province, and Bukidnon. So dun sa mga malalamig actually na lugar, no? So production falls short of demand because it's always on high demand, especially in the processing types, no, like the French fries. And our country is still importing amounting to 36.4 million US dollars worth of these potato products. So as of 2006, according to our statistics. So table potato is actually a main ingredient in many Filipino dishes and salads, and of course around the world. So processing also like chips into chips, fries, and flour is very common and also in demand. So basically, it is fat-free, cholesterol-free, and low in calories. Kaya it's really very healthy. But then if you're going to make it into French fries, and because of the high saturated fat of the oil, so that makes it less na siyang kanang nutritious or healthy food. So it is actually naturally a great antioxidant, and in fact, most of the vitamins in potatoes are located just below the skin. Kaya there are some type of potatoes na gina-mash nila or gina-steam potato nila, ginaluto lang nila, no, without even taking out its skin. And since it's really very high in vitamins. So for 100 grams of this table potato, you will get 79% water, 78% energy. We have protein, carbohydrates, calcium, phosphorus, iron, thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and it's also high in ascorbic acid. So we have a lot of varieties as well that includes most common table potatoes are the Conchita, the Cosima, the Granola, Greta, Red, Pontiac, Sulibao, France, and Asterix. So for processing naman, we have Atlantic, Jaman, Pina, Egorota, Kennebec, Montanosa, and Raha. And we use actually planting tuber for as planting material because the flower or the seeds itself are unsuccessful. So purity of the cultivars and healthy seed tubers are very important requirement for the success of the crop, of course. And seed tuber is the costliest input in potato cultivation. Although later in our video presentation, makikita ninyo na may tissue culture na din sa potato. So the tuber seed should be disease-free, well-sprouted, weighing about 30 to 40 grams each, and with the right physiological age, about 2 to 3 months from harvest. So it's a good planting material now. And we just need 1,000 to 200 to 2,000 kilogram seed requirement per hectare. So, and also to overcome the problem caused and diseases in seed tubers, Meron tayong na-develop na true potato seed or TPS as planting materials. It is a botanical seed developed as a result of fertilization. And most of the diseases are transmissible through seed tubers, cannot be passed through this TPS. So in addition, we only need about 200 grams per hectare of this TPS, thereby saving cost if talaga siya in transporting the bulky plant materials and new quantities of food material for table purposes. So itong TPS seedlings are also grown to maturity sa nursery beds and obtain seedling tubers as well. So the seedling tubers are used as seed pieces for growing a normal potato crop in the following season. So saan ba tayo or anong kasing soil and climate ba ang kailangan for potato production? So actually almost any type of soil, except now of course saline and alkaline. So they usually prefer loose soils with least resistant to the enlargement of the tubers. So usually loamy and sandy loam soils are also which are also high in organic matter, and good drainage and aeration are very suitable sa cultivation. And the pH range are actually a little bit acidic from 5.2 to 6.4, and it's a temperate crop, so it can be, although it can also be grown in a wide range of climatic condition depending naman sa kanyang variety. So it grows best, of course, sa moderately cool temperatures sa highlands during growing season and in temperate countries. In fact, the vegetative growth of the plant is best at 20 to 24 degrees Celsius sa malamig talaga, while tuber development is good at 20 degrees Celsius. So only areas like Benguet, Bukidnon, from March to April and October to November are the best planting time actually. And in the lowlands naman, yung for those varieties who can be grown in lowlands, the best time to plant is November to mid-December. So how do you prepare the soil? Again, you have to plow and harrow twice para maging friable yung soil. Suitable siya for tuber development. So kapag masyado namang acidic, mag-apply tayo ng lime 30 days before planting. So how do we plant our seed tuber? So using single row and double row methods. So do single row, it's for flat areas, like practicing double dill soil and Bukidnon. And using carbow drone plow, mag-set tayo ng 75 cm apart furrows and 30 cm holes apart along the furrow. Sa double row method naman is for sloping areas naman, like in Benguet. So you just prepare manually 1 meter wide raised beds 50 centimeter apart and establish 2 rows within the bed space, 30 centimeter apart, the same. And the distance between holes along the furrow is again 30 centimeter. So both planting methods will require 44,444 plant population. And you can apply fertilizer in holes or add chicken manure and cover with thin layer of soil and place the tuber over the thin layer of soil and cover with 5 centimeter thick soil. So ganun lang magtanim, no? And later you will find some video presentation how does it look like. So general fertilizer recommendation for potato is 120 kilogram per hectare nitrogen, 240 kilogram per hectare phosphorus, and 240 kilogram per hectare potassium. So mas malaki yung potassium and phosphorus, but actually mas best pa rin to apply proper fertilization based on soil analysis. So magpa-soil anal tayo. And you can also apply chicken manure during land preparation at the rate of 5 tons per hectare para magkaroon tayo ng 60 to 100 kg NPK and micronutrients. Or apply complete fertilizer 14-14-14 at 3 to 5 bags per hectare as basal naman. And then apply the remaining nitrogen and potassium requirements during heating up. So take note, pag excess yung nitrogen natin, it will delay maturity, promote skinning and black spot bruising, so it's not good. And in areas where bacterial wilt is a problem, also early healing up is necessary para ma-prevent yung root injury. Of course, irrigation is very important. And since potato have a shallow and sparse root system, so initial irrigation is appropriate at 5 to 7 days after planting. Then again, subsequent irrigation at 7 to 15 days interval depending naman sa climatic condition. And soil type, pag sandy soil, mas madali siya mag-dry. No? And then pag mainit pa, pag masyado namang umulan, of course. So weeding and healing up is also very important, no? Since the potato crop develops a canopy in about 4 weeks lang after planting. So those must be also be controlled, no? Para to gain competitive advantage of the crop. So you perform weeding, healing up, and side dressing simultaneously 1 month after planting. So medyo tedious siya. And subsequent weeding can also be done sparingly depending naman sa kanyang weed population. So for the pest and disease, we have pests like cutworms, thrips, aphids, mites, leaf miners, and potato tuber moth. And you in this point, it's encouraged to use natural enemies such as the branconids and the predaceous ground beetle. So for cutworm, you can also spray biological insecticides such as Bacillus thuringiensis and NPV or nuclear polyhedrosis virus. So you just collect the NPV-infected cutworm larvae and store in the freezer for later use. And can be macerated then dilute a 12 infected larvae per 6 liters of water. So these fully grown larvae killed due to NPV infection hang with their head down, holding on the abdominal prolegs. No, and so pheromones are also effective. So you can spray with insecticides such as fipronil, fenvalerate, MIPC, and permethrin following, of course, the manufacturer's recommended rates. For thrips naman, you can just spray with soap solution at the rate of 4 tablespoons soap per 16 liters of water. So if needed talaga, last resort, you spray insecticides such as oxamil, cypermethrin, fipronil, using company's recommendation. And for aphids, you can just spray hot pepper, like 100 gram macerated hot pepper per 16 liter ng water and a soap solution. So again, you can have the last resort using insecticides commercially available like cypermethrin, fenvalerate, and so on. For mites, you can also spray them with soap solution or use appropriate miticides such as methiocard. No? And leaf miner, you intercrop them with beans, onions, and other vegetables para ma-maintain yung low weed population and along alleys. And if needed talaga, mag-spray na tayo ng cyromazine, cartap, hydrochloride, and so on. So it's also important to alternate these products para ma-prevent ang development of pesticide resistance. And lastly, for tuber moth, i-healing up mo lang siya and adequately cover the tubers. For seed pieces, dust with fine wood, ash, or carbaryl. So sa mga diseases like late blight, you can use mancozeb, chlorothalonil, and metalaxyl following recommended rates, no? And also in rotation. So these are actually fungicides, no? And you can also use compost tea, and we have discussed last time every topic how to prepare the compost tea using these ingredients. So next we have bacterial wheel. So to prevent this, unang-una i-clean muna natin yung ating plant materials, or it must be clean. And plant potato in a well-drained soil kasi they are very prone to wilt, and practice crop rotation, of course. So for viruses, roach-infected plants, you can control aphids since aphid is the vector of this virus. So you must target the vector or the aphids first, no? And are insect vectors of the virus. So when can we harvest our potato na? So it should be harvested at full maturity para mas longer yung storability or storage niya. So mostly it will mature from 75 to 90 days after planting, or when 80% of the leaves of the total plant population is yellowing na, so you can start dehoming or vine kill to reduce skinning and bruising during harvest, and shrinkage during storage. So you cut the foliage or the home at 5 to 10 centimeter from the ground level, 5 to 7 days before harvest to harden the skin of the tubers. So meron pa yung parang hardening nila para hindi masyadong para yung kanang wound ay maghilom pa. And then harvesting is done by manual digging of the tubers using spading fork or any pointed instrument or pala. So in the video presentation, there will be a mechanical harvester for that. So that's how advanced are most of the countries. So one customary practice for post-harvest of potato is also yung grading and classification. So based on diameter and weight, so these are the sizes. This is the large, medium, small, with 7.5 and above diameter and 300 grams and above weight. For medium naman, 4.4 to 7.4 and 181 to 300. And small, nasa 3 to 3.9 to 90 to 180. So how much do we need in producing white potato? So for the labor, we need 34,320. For the materials, we need 76,481. So total variable cost is 121,000, but fixed cost is 11,700. So ang total cost niya actually is 133,000. No, and but your income is very high, during regular season or off season. Pwede siya maging 25 tons per hectare or 15 tons per hectare. So for regular season, from 250,000 gross income, you can actually get 116,999 na kita or net. And pag off season siya, the bigger, 300,000. You can have 166,999. So I guess that's all for the production guide for potato, and we can have our video presentation on potato production. So before we proceed, do you have any questions or clarification, Ruela?
Grammarly helps you work more efficiently, which makes accomplishing your work goals easier than ever before. Get full sentence rewrite suggestions so you can say what you mean faster. Powered by over
Okay, so let's have watch. Sorry now. Yan. It's really very fine. Imagine. So you can also see here, meron siyang bacterial wheel sa gitna. No? Yan. So you have to treat that one. Kasi mo kapag na siya magpapakito. So actually what they do is meron silang ganito, no? Irrigation, fertigation na siya, and summer. Right. So you can see here, irrigation na sila. Then, you can see malmulaklak sila. Beautiful flower. So, yun sila. Magka-family sila ng talong. So, after flowering, ayan, then you can actually harvest it. Ayan na, madami pa siyang soil. Kailangan talaga siyang hugasan at i-process. That's using a mechanical harvester, but in the Philippines, we use a manual. And it's also very expensive, no? But only for highway can work with that. Yan. Amazing siyang tingnan, actually. Ito yung kanilang technology. Medyo malinis na siya, no? Because of the vibration siguro ng transport. So that's for potato peel production. Now there's another potato growing in inside a greenhouse. Let's say greenhouse, no? And this is called aeroponics. So let's have a look kung ano ba ito or bakit different siya. Ayan, so you can see yung roots niya ay nakabitay lang, no? And it derives its fertilizer from the steam, the water steam. So, and it's found to be very efficient, although expensive. So, ayan, yung sinasabi ko kanina na pagka na ganito gagawin ng mga patatas, ilan na lang diretso ginaluto, and then that becomes part of their staple food. No? And another way of cooking potatoes, aside from, yun nga. Ayan, may measurement pa siya. Ayan, so let's try to watch. So may mga root hairs siya. So that's the one that is ayan, may illustration siya how the plants can able to absorb the nutrient through the root hairs, no, and from the clean of the water with fertigation na yan, or for liquid fertilizer, and sometimes insecticides and pesticides. So, ito yung mga type na mga patatas na maliliit and that's very in demand, no? Yan, napakaganda na kanilang greenhouse. So, although it's kasi sa kanila, of course, it's temperate. Ayan, yun yung mga tissue paper ng mga plantlets na potato. We don't need to use the seed piece na, the potato super seed piece. So, you can directly use yung mga tissue paper na ng mga potato. Ayan. Ayan. So, ang dami. Ayan. So, yung root hairs will help the absorption of these yung nutrients. So actually, they're formulating their own formula, actually, no? So as fertilizer in this area. And they've been controlling the irrigation system. Kasi it really needs a lot of irrigation processes. They think that with correct temperature, patatas can grow best. And so fast track lang natin. Yeah, this can be used as seed also in the field as well. No? Aside from cultured one, kapag masyadong maliit, no? That pass through to the quality standard. Because it's possible to increase year-round crop yield. So the yield will increase from 45 to 75% and it's available all year round. Dahil nga dun sa aerophobia. Yan, no? You have the different small sizes of the food. Yan. So, fast track ko lang. It's very popular na ang aeroponics, especially in Latin America and China. So, that's how they harvest. And meron actually nag-check, no? The status of the aeroponics. Nag-try lang siya. Yan na siya, naka-harvest na. So, paano gumawa ng potato chips? Fast track ko din. So, ganun pa din, no? From the potato that you planted in the field or in the greenhouse, yun pa din ang gamitin natin. Doon, ginagamit na planting material or pwede pa rin siyang lutuin kahit lutuin yan na siya ka. So again, we are talking about potato. Sorry. Wala naman si Sherwin. Ayan. So, yan ay, hindi ko lang alam kung anong gagawin nila. Bakit hindi na niya pinili. Pero sa potatoes na kasi ay, ayan, naka-slice na ito. And it's been very talaga Profitable. Yung process. Ayan. So, sa paggawa ng cheese, yan na siya. Ay, sorry. Yan, no? Nakaano na siya. You know a lot more. Meron na siyang slicer. Slicer, diba? Hati-hati na different colors. Yan, kadami ng cheese. Okay, and automatic na rin kanyang packaging. Yan, beautiful, ano? So, meron na tayong mga ganyang technology na from the field to processing, from harvest, post-harvest, handling, and processing and packaging. So, sa packing house na yan, until to the last consumer. So, do you have any question or clarification before we end about potato production? Sherwin? Wala na? So, I guess yun lang, no, for today's session about potato production. Have questions and clarification, you can always chat me in our group chat. And again, thank you very much for joining with me for this session. Kanina nag 2 p.m. session tayo, ngayon 3 p.m. session. So most of your classmates has been in the first session. So thank you, Sherwin, and see you again next week. So sorry, I have to. Yes, Sherwin, nakay question or clarification?
Wala na, ma'am.
Wala na. Kisa pa man isa. Wait lang.
Ako na kuan ma'am, review ng video niya, ma'am.
Okay. So, again, thank you and bye-bye everyone. Sir Jay, humanami. Manapit ka kanina ata. So, bye.
Bye.